angriest black woman in Congress has a new mission. Yeah, yeah. Let's check this one out. Mark Dice.
Jasmine Crockett, the biggest ratchet garden tool in Congress, made a big announcement yesterday. She is too big, too important to be just a member of the House of Representatives. So she announced that she's going to be running for Senate in Texas. Even though Texas
Not too big, too important. She was literally forced out because of SCOTUS and the redistricting.
hasn't had a Democrat senator for 30 years, but she thinks
And that's not going to change.
she has what it takes to
I hope.
break that streak for 30 years, but she thinks she has what it takes to break that streak.
There are a lot of people that said, you got to stay in the House. We need our voice. We need you there. And
If you guys are hearing the video off of one side of the speaker, one side of your computer or whatever your setup is, I want to let you know I'm having that same volume issue. So it's on his end and not mine. There's nothing I can do about it, as far as I know, anyway.
I understand. But what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop.
They're going to stop Donald Trump, but she needs more power. She can't be just a little member of the House of Representatives. She needs to be Senator Crockett. And obviously, the size of her sign is about the size of her ego. Way too big.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but it's not. Her sign's not that big. I think her ego is a lot bigger.
Here's her first campaign ad, which, of course, doesn't mention anything that she's going to do for the state of Texas. It is all...
Of course, why express what your plans are when you get into office? Policies? What's that? Why? How? Of course, I'm just gonna say nice things about what I'm gonna do without explaining like how it's gonna help or talk about what my plans are. God, because God forbid Democrats have a plan when they go into office. They just want to get power for the sake of having power. Obviously, come on, man. These people are disgusting.
100% egocentric and consists only of Donald Trump calling her a piece of trash.
I mean, look at this photo of her. She's a pretty woman. I'm not gonna lie, but like she looks so damn full of herself, doesn't she? Like it's ridiculous. Like what did you do with your life that makes you so arrogant to look like that? Talk about a resting bitch face. Seriously.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
Sorry, I didn't know it was a video. It's not a photo, a video. But what I said I think still holds anyway.
But you have this woman Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
Where's the lie?
Oh, man.
Where's the lie?
Man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Is this her campaign ad? Because it's really not doing her any favors. This is retarded.
Democrats always drink way too much of their Kool-Aid. Imagine being so delusional that you believe that you have what it takes, being Jasmine Crockett, to become a senator in Texas. And speaking of delusions, here's Don Lemon.
People love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell.
Don Lemon, quote unquote journalist. I used to watch what was he called? The Quartering. The term urinalist, I like it. I think Don Lemon fits that term very well.
And the like. And I think that the Democratic...
We all know what kind of people he's talking about because the only ones who actually think that these people are qualified for anything really barely qualify as being people.
And the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're...
See, he's confusing the circus of cable news with being the average general populace because...
Well, when you're a clown, when you're a clown in a city of normies, you don't... Wait, hold on. What am I trying to say? When you're a clown in a city of normies and you view the world as a clown, you don't you don't see the world that normally you see. You see the world as a clown. Does that make sense? I'm tired. Anyway, Donovan's a clown. That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess having those clowns on those networks does boost the ratings because they're the equivalent of the Jerry Springer show in a news veneer. But the average American couldn't care less, has zero respect for any of these people. Eric Swalwell is like the dork in high school
Truly.
who always wants to hang out with the cool kids, and you feel sorry for him because he's nice and
Not me. No, I take that back. I do feel sorry for him, but not enough to allow him to hang out with me.
he means well, but he has nothing in common with you whatsoever. But you just feel sorry for him. So you're like, okay, fine. You can come to the party.
Nah,
The guy is
nah.
literally best known for ripping one live on the air.
The evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an
There it
election.
goes.
And the complaint I've heard
Thankfully, Eric Swalwell is drinking the CNN and MSNBC Kool-Aid. He announced, that you may have heard, that he's running for governor of California. But back
Like I wonder if that's what's happening. Like some of these politicians, they run, they get the seat, they get their news from mainstream, and they don't bother to look elsewhere because they think they're being told the truth, and they just accept it as fact, and they run based on the ideas fed to them by the mainstream. Like I wonder how those relationships interconnect and intertwine. I do not want to get close enough to Washington to find out. I tell you what.
to Jasmine Crockett, whose campaign for Senate I fully support for strategic reasons.
When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Not
DEI.
because of her education or her dedication to the
Not because of her competency, but because she's black. You retard. DEI.
field or her extreme passion for law, but because she's black, just like
Her passion for law, for which she misquotes law consistently. What was that quote she did recently, or not recently? Illegally enter the country is not a crime. It's not a criminal offense. Like, it's illegal. Aren't you a lawyer? You're a retard.
Martin Luther King wanted. Tell us about the platform you're running on and the source of your inspiration for what you hope to be your signature legislation.
Just this past week, I saw, I don't remember which celebrity, but it was actually a
Celebrities know what's best, obviously.
celebrity. And I was like, I don't know that that's not necessarily a bad idea. But I'd have to think through it a lot. One of the things that they propose is black folk not have to pay taxes
For reparations.
for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But at the same time, it may not be as objectionable to some people about actually giving out dollars. But obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right?
Listen, lady, we have more than compensated black people for the past injustices from generations and generations ago. Not to mention hundreds of thousands of white people died to free the slaves in the Civil War. And I'll say it because
Also, less than 2% of people own slaves in America. So, like, to paint the entirety of white people with that broad brush is incredibly racist and retarded.
few people have the guts to. Black people living in America today should actually be grateful that their ancestors were brought here, because otherwise there's a very
Well, otherwise they'd have to live in I kind of want to just say it, a shithole. Otherwise they live in some kind of shithole country in Africa. So, congrats to you. You lucked out in the long run. Because your ancestors got brought over here. You're welcome.
high likelihood
You're welcome that we bought you, or our ancestors, like not our. I'm not even white, but the ancestors of the country, our forefathers, paid your slaver village other people like you. Well, they paid other people like you in your country to to buy your ancestors off of them so that we can have you as slaves. You're welcome. You're welcome that we had the money to purchase you.
That they would have been born in Africa in a dirt hut with
Right.
no
What he said.
running water, no toilet, and not even owning a pair of shoes. Instead, they get to enjoy all of the incredible benefits that the United States offers all citizens, well, and under Democrat policies, all criminal invaders as well. But you get my point. It's also long overdue that leaders in the black community apologize for N-word behavior. Obviously, the N-word isn't a term to describe members of an entire race. It's a term that is used to describe the behavior of members of a particular race that makes a distinction between a certain group of them and another group of them. Sort of like white trash
Again,
doesn't refer.
I'm not laughing at the content. I'm laughing at my VTube model. I like just shaking and looking at the what's going on over there.
To all white people. It refers to a subset of white people based off of their behaviors. Stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video, but real quick, this is the last week to order anything from markdice.com and get it in time for Christmas using Christmas shipping on anything.
Oh, right. Since he's I'm gonna go ahead and let this play so that I can shamelessly plug my merch. I actually do have merch, by the way. Serenity Affirmations at Etsy.com, I think. I have some. It's what do you call it? Positive affirmation T-shirts, tote bags. I designed them myself. Well, using AI art. I think they look good personally, but that's up for you to decide. Go ahead and check it out. The link will be, or I think the link will be in the description. You'll see. Anyway, whatever. I'll definitely make sure that it's there. I do have merch. If you want to support me because you like my takes, I appreciate it. Because I can tell you what, as of right now, I could really use the support. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Behaviors. Stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video, but real quick, this is the last week to order anything from markdice.com and get it in time for Christmas using standard shipping. So stop being a slacker, head on over there and order your Trump Claus sweatshirt and wear it to Christmas dinner, or the Trump Claus wrapping paper, or any of my awesome designs. By the way, get free shipping on anything in the US this week by using the promo code SENDTHEMBACK. That I originally designed referring to the Somali immigrants, but I think it applies to people like Jasmine Crockett as well. So a whole bunch of new drinkware over there this year, a bunch of coffee mugs, black and white, beer glasses, the classic t-shirt designs, left crest, more minimalist, more discreet designs. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out. Oh, and by the way, this was the entertainment at Jasmine Crockett's Senate kickoff party. Brace yourselves because there is mega cringe coming in 3,
That is some
2.
weird looking hair.
She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who is willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats, what y'all thought we wasn't gonna do.
This is not a parody, by the way. This really happened. And this really happened too, in case you missed it. This is the quality of the dialogue that Jasmine Crockett brings to Washington, D.C.
You don't talk about it.
Do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this is what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
Calm
me
down.
Shut your ratchet ass mouth.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
Chair,
I don't know why
okay.
you're
Order.
tracking
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
Another one of the pillars of her campaign is to make Americans less safe by hiring a bunch of DEI airline pilots, which, by the way, won't happen under the Trump administration, but this was her wish under the Biden regime.
Legislation into the FAA Reauthorization Act that really flew under the radar, thank God. But this was funding to make sure that hopefully we can increase the number of African Americans and Hispanics that are in.
So she admits she snuck some provisions into the bill, the FAA budget, in order to try to hire more DEI pilots.
entering aviation, which can be very expensive, but can obviously be very lucrative. And
That's why you get student loans. That's why people will give just about any student a loan for any amount of money.
so we set up a situation where basically there.
You were going to hire people who obviously weren't qualified to be airline pilots or
DEI.
even a barista at Starbucks. But thankfully, the Trump administration put an end to DEI.
Thank
Democrats
goodness.
employing.
Actually, watch out because Kirsha has been reporting on these people, these companies, these powers that be. They're sneakily renaming DEI and trying to reinstitute it into certain places. So stay vigilant. We must stay vigilant and crush this ideology to dust. It has to be done because the people that think this way will see our country destroyed, and probably just through sheer incompetence alone because they're just that dumb. But certainly people that support them know better, I think. Anyway, moving on.
Idiots. And we finally made a lot of progress in other areas of the culture war. I've been hearing a lot of people use the N word recently, the R word,
Based.
the other
Based.
F word. I mean, I'm not saying that you should say it online or at work if you don't work for an organization or in an industry where that is the norm. Or if somebody's videotaping you, if you lose your temper, because you definitely shouldn't expect that someone's going to put up a GoFundMe page for you and raise you $100,000. But you get what I mean. And so Axios just published this. Guardrails against racist, xenophobic, and dehumanizing rhetoric have all but vanished on the American right. What was once disqualifying or the exclusive domain of online trolls is now a fixture of national political discourse. And Christmas came early for the Wisconsin woman who was fired from Cinnabon after the Somali.
For real, she crashes out on some people that treated her poorly, gets fired, and then she gets a nice bonus, huge bonus. What's this now? $126,000. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she could afford some stuff. Her family's getting some gifts this year. Good for her.
The
Good for her.
immigrants videotaped her expressing her Somali fatigue. The Give Send Go page, which I will leave linked up down in the description below, is now over $126,000. Yesterday I made a mistake. I called it a GoFundMe page just out of habit because GoFundMe is kind of the generic term for these type of things.
Right.
But GoFundMe would never allow her page. And she did not
No,
set
'cause
this
they're
up
woke.
herself. It's not like she posted this hoping to get some money. There's someone who sets these up for the viral video people who get canceled, okay? And so he set it up for her, and he's raised over $100,000. But for just a tiny fraction of that, you can get a Trump clause.
Yeah, we heard the spiel already. Mark Dice, guys. Link will be in the description, of course. Follow me if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe, please subscribe. Follow me on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Zephyr Knox VT. Thank you very much. Have a good one.